Yep, this is gonna be trouble. Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier, and this is the Piracy Show. And yeah. So, for the last week and a half, I have been playing around with the bounty system. A lot of you know this. I talked about it on and off, and it has actually been a very fun experience. I have to say that quite honestly. Does it mean that I'm making a career change? No. But it's worthwhile to dip into it to see what the other side sees, to understand the methodology, and it's something that you're probably going to have to dip your toes into from time to time just to see what's going on the other side of the fence. And so that was kind of my thinking behind experimenting with this and seeing what it was all about. Certainly taking on bounty missions where there were players who were wanted. It didn't really give me the coordinates, it didn't give me the locations to those players, though I did occasionally bump into certain players that I had seen up on the notice that were wanted. I ran into these times where it would tell me there's a wanted player, but it wouldn't even give me a name. So, once again, that's a system that obviously, like a lot of systems in game, needs some touch up, needs some work, but to be expected. And of course, this is the very early beginning implementation of the bounty system. So there's not really a lot of sophistication and depth here. I would equate it to basically right now, it's kind of like World of Warcraft questing, where you go into a hub and they're like, go over here and kill 15 fellow orcs, and you go, okay, and you go over there and there's 15 fellow orcs, you kill them, boom, you get your reward, and you're done. And it's pretty much like that. Go over here, neutralize this bounty, you neutralize the bounty, you get your 310 credits, job's done. Job's done. And that's it, right? But in the future, hopefully, it's going to become a much more in-depth system and a much more interesting system. Though, in all honesty, just for the sheer volume of creation that goes into, creating these missions, you can't really write an entire, paragraph of flavor text for each and every one. Like, oh, here's Johnny Sparks, he's the vile pirate, and here's his whole life story, and here's what he did, yada yada yada, because most players are just going to be like, just tell me where he is so I can blow him up. And so you're probably not going to see, at least at the early level, at the entry level, a lot of sophistication, but perhaps as the system kind of grows and develops, you're gonna see some missions where it's like, last place we saw this guy was over here, you go over here, you find a clue, points you in this direction, you go over there, you find a clue, points you in another direction, then you go, you find the guy, you kill him, or neutralize him, collect the bounty, dead or alive. All kinds of different things can come into play, and it may end up being a very rewarding experience for a lot of players. And that's something that you have to be aware of, not just the mechanics of how it works, but how it feels to play it, because that directly affects how many people are going to be playing it, and that affects your potential threats in the future. Now, certainly with the recent announcement that FPS combat on the ground versus AI being set back to 3.3 is a bit of a blow to the development of this profession. I mean, that would have offered probably one of the first opportunities where you could have go down on the ground, hunt down and capture a bounty, and, well, not so much put them away in your Avenger Stalker right now, but hopefully in the near future. That kind of represented the possibility of the next step in this profession. But this is still a profession that is still in a very early state and is immensely enjoyable and playable. And it's pretty obvious that CIG is staking a lot in this profession. Of course, there are things like the Cutlass Blue and the Avenger Stalker, which are the ships that are designated for going out and collecting all those rapscallions and hauling them away to prison for reward. But, those aren't the only ship. Recently, we saw the concept sale of the Anvil Hawk, probably one of the better ships that CIG has ever put out there. I really like this ship. It was, in my mind, probably one of the best thought out, best laid out ships that CIG has put out in quite a while. I mean, there are some good ones out there. The Hammerhead is a standout as well, but one of the things I liked the most about the Hawk was the price point. The price point was excellent, and I think I even said it back during the sale. I'd have to go back and check, but I think I even said that this should be available for sale all the time. And if you buy it War Bond, it should have LTI on it. It should be always available. I know there are going to be some people who disagree with that, but honestly, I think that this is a ship that should be out there all the time. And it is yet the third ship specifically designated towards that profession. Of course, the Cutlass Blue and the Avenger Stalker and other ships can be used in that capacity to varying degrees, but these are the ships that are dedicated to that profession, and none of them are really slouches and none of them are terrible. They're all damn good ships. So it's kind of obvious that CIG has a lot riding on this profession. They really like this idea, and it is, I would say, probably a close second to what I would want to do in the verse. Of course, number one being piracy, but bounty hunting also promises to be kind of an action-packed and interesting career in the Star Citizen universe, and that's kind of what I was always looking for. Once again, am I making a career change? No, I am not. But you have to be aware of the fact that this is one of the few basically functional careers in Star Citizen currently, and things are only promising to get better. Well, in time. Now you might look at this and say, well, I'm a pirate, and yeah, okay, I've tried the bounty system. I've shot down guys, I've gotten my 541 credits, or I've gotten my 310 credits. Big deal. But the important thing to remember is that this is the career at its very beginning stage. This is, the, once again, tier 0 implementation of this career. It is something that is going to evolve clearly. And it is obviously going to be a career that is going to have a lot of adherence. So getting in early, exploring it, learning it, understanding how it works, the methodology, the playbook, the rule book, understanding how it all works can only work to your benefit. Maybe looking at things like, okay, I'm in a system and there aren't a lot of bounties in the system, but there are a lot of bounty hunters, so maybe I don't want to raise a red flag in this system. Maybe I don't want to fly the old skull and crossbones over here, because clearly there's a lot of bounty hunters here looking for work, whereas maybe in another system you might say, well, a lot of the bounties that these guys seem to get seem to be centered around this area, which is very close to where they turn it all in, so there's a lot of money, a lot of credits per hour to be earned over here. So if I'm all the way over there, I become inconvenient. Maybe that's to my benefit, lowering the chances that I'm going to get interfered with. Maybe this is where I want to fly the skull and crossbones, that sort of thing. And understanding how all these pieces kind of come together to make you a wanted player, and how you appear to, these kind of like freelance law enforcement individuals, will help you understand how to make yourself either not a target or the least likely target to be pursued on that list. One of the most important things to being successful as a pirate is knowing your enemy, understanding how they do things. But don't just take it from me. Take it from Chinese martial philosopher Sun Tzu. To know your enemy, you must become your enemy. Lucky numbers 10, 15, 23, 38, 40, and 41. And with that, we're going to end this show. I hope you enjoyed what will be an ongoing look at the bounty hunter profession as a yin to our yang, and hopefully in the future This, along with the piracy profession, will see some fleshing out, and we'll have some more fun stuff to explore. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the show, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.